So I can almost use it as incentives on the one hand, and I can look at it as a measure, maybe even that I could use in forward contracts in my relationships with some of the carriers and partners. Now I have visibility to their performance within my network, and maybe I can negotiate even more effectively.
Yeah, almost all the contracts are performance-based contracts.
You're seeing almost preponderance.
Yeah, preponderance. I mean, that's been going on for about 10 years. That people have really clamped down and said, look, we're going to pay you based on your performance.
Right.
And so in order to do that, you have to be able to measure.
Right.
So
you have to tie it with
you
the
have to
systems.
tie it. You have to tie it.
Right, and there has to be, go back to Ricky's point earlier about the collaborative part of that. I mean, it's not just a matter of beating up the carrier. You have to really look at, for example, if a shipment left the dock late, was it because the carrier was late? Or was it because the shipment wasn't ready? Or because the carrier arrived and your dock crew took lunch break?
Right.
I mean, really to drill down into that kind of detail requires a collaborative effort and a good way of capturing the root causes of problems.
Right. Let's go back a little bit. We're kind of talking about this point you raised earlier with the real-time aspect. And I'm wondering, too, we were talking about at one point sort of the resilience of your network. It seems to me that we're talking about some fairly complex moves, or maybe it's a fleet movement where we're trying to deal with home service delivery or furniture delivery and so forth, and you've got many stops. It seems like we have the opportunity to really react to these points of status and visibility through our delivery cycle, where we can change our plan based on these kind of clues. Are you gentlemen seeing systems and solutions coming into place that you're kind of giving that flexibility to adapt to these these alerts and then automatically respond or replan? Optimization isn't all about setting up a plan at the beginning of the day and it carries through the full day, but can we deal with this more dynamic sort of real-time aspect?
I think the whole mobile resource management area is particularly if you link it in with fleet management. So really, for a lot of companies, it's that last mile. That's been a challenge in terms of where's my truck, where's my driver, what's happening, because obviously exceptions are going to occur all the time.
Yes.
An order's going to get canceled, or someone's going to request a pickup in the middle of the day. Right. So you need to be able to communicate that information back to the dispatchers, be able to see where your drivers and equipment are, and be able to say, okay, which truck should I send to do this pickup or delivery. And I think one of the key enablers there has been, if you look at the price points of the wireless plans, if you look at the price points, even the handheld devices. I mean, today everyone has GPS-enabled cell phones. So even just using cell phone technology to be able to text, where are you, or I do poofer delivery just using cell phones. I think that development has provided the capability to do a lot of this over the past 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, but I also, the adjusting real-time issue, that's still very manual. I mean, humans are making these decisions. It's almost like air traffic control. The computers help a lot. They give you a lot of status information, but somebody's got to make a decision.
Right.
And that's happening. Well, I know with UPS. I mean, their last-minute stuff is communicated with technology, but the decision on what to do is being made by a human back at the office.
Ultimately, I think the human makes the decision, but I think where the technology's coming in is providing here are the different options you have right now, and you make the decision, because there's going to be trade-offs. The system is not smart enough in many cases to know what the trade-offs are, or how you as a business manager weigh the different options, but at least being able to provide you with the options and say, here are the options, here are the potential trade-offs, make the decision.
What an interesting point that is, because that says that visibility isn't just about the points of delivery for that route or that global movement, but it sounds like you also have the opportunity to have visibility to your assets, whether that's the drivers who are available to go out, or you were talking about the mobile resources. What tractors and trailers do I have in vicinity that I can take a look at that? So are we seeing sort of those asset systems being tied to, let's say, the transportation management systems, so that it all becomes one collaborative network? Is is that here today? Is it coming? Where do we stand with that?
Well, certainly that's one of the areas, particularly in closed loop environments where you've got movable assets that, whether they're containers or totes or cages or things of that nature. That's an area where you're seeing RFID as an example being applied. And I think that's going to grow in importance moving forward, because when you look at supply chain sustainability or developing environmentally friendly supply chains, and some of the regulations that are in place, certainly in Europe, that's this is a reality today in Europe, and it's the future reality here in the States. But the ability to track products and some of the conveyances and being able to have these reverse logistics flows is very important, and I think you're seeing that on the technology front as well.
This whole area of return and sort of reverse logistics, you're saying we're actually having visibility solutions that are sort of reaching out into that aspect of the environment as well? Right.
I mean, I think the visibility used to be, when visibility started out, it was this, okay, where's my shipment, right? So it was visibility to the transportation piece of it. And then you've seen over the years visibility to purchase orders, visibility to the transportation piece, visibility to inventory. So this ties into kind of being able to link into warehouse management systems or other systems in terms of that have inventory information. And then it's also visibility to the cost. Okay, what are the costs along these different areas? And then I think the area that's picking up steam today is visibility to assets, whether they're trucks, containers, totes, and even human resources. So.